gamers, I'm Cybersnack7. Hope we're all well, guys. Back again with another video, and yeah, been a slightly delayed. Been a couple of weeks since the last video, but as per usual, you know, I don't need to explain myself. I got a lot on, so, and work's been quite busy as per usual. But yes, I'm late into doing this video. I mean, this is nearly a week later, because this is going to be all about the Birmingham gaming market and my experience of being on the other side, and I'll get into that as we obviously go through the video. But yes, the Birmingham gaming market, which happened last Saturday the 6th of July at the Birmingham South College on Digbeth, or in Digbeth should I say, and it's the first event in Birmingham that they've held, and to be honest with you, it wasn't that bad. I've heard rumours already that the college that they held it in, which I'll go into more detail in a bit, they're going to be moving the venue, and they're probably going to be moving it to the custard factory in Digbeth again, which is literally probably a couple of 100 yards down the road further, which is a much bigger and better unit, to be honest with you, because I'll get into the details of how that went in a bit. But let's start at the beginning, guys. Let's go back to basically a couple of days before, and the plan was literally to go down, as per usual, be the first on the door, knocking on the door, waiting for people to open up, to get into this market and see what they've got. As I say, it's literally a stone throw from me. Digbeth is literally 20 minutes on the bus and a 5-minute walk. So for me, happy days. Bring them on every single year as far as I'm concerned. It's a perfect venue for me. But anyway, yes, yeah, the whole entire plan was for me to literally get down there as early as possible, and to get in there and see what bargains I can have, to be honest with you. But that kind of turned into something different, because I was talking to Craig, Rob actually, it's Rob, aka Craig's here again. Everybody's come up with this Rob, I don't know where it come from, but it even kind of convinced me, thinking, is his name actually Craig? Because he is kind of a mysterious guy. You gotta admit that. But still a fantastic guy, and I'll get more into that in a bit. But anyway, talking to Craig, he was literally telling me that he was going to set up a stall down there, and just bring a table of like a few hundred of his amazing mega rare items from probably one of the biggest banana box collections I've ever seen. He was going to bring a table down, fill it up full of goodness, and he says to me, you know, if you've got any items, would you like to put them on the stall? Same as Mr. Tootie. And like, you can, if you've got any items, bring them down and we can try and sell them for you. So I got myself a few items, a console, a couple of consoles, to be honest with you, which weren't being used, and a few games and things like that. Won't go into detail, apart from the one, because obviously the one was sold to somebody I didn't know. But the other console, which I'll go into in a bit, was sold to a very... when he weren't too far away from my stall, put it that way. But he will talk about that, no doubt, when he does his video. But anyway, took myself a couple of consoles down, some decent games, and got there at literally about 8 in the morning. And obviously, Craig was there. He gave me my band to get in, and I literally become a seller for the first time. And it was a kind of an experience I was really looking forward to be honest. Something I've never ever done before. I was quite excited about it, if you wanted to be honest truth. I thought it was something different. And as I say, Craig offered me, you know, said, like, put some stuff on the store, and then, you know, you can work with me all day. And that's exactly what I did. And I had an absolute blast. It was something I'd never experienced before, as I said, and I really, really, really enjoyed it. And it really makes me want to do it again. Obviously, the things that I sold was from my personal collection. It wasn't what I'd gathered over time. So the next time round, I'd probably there'd be items I'd be putting aside or gathering over the next year, basically. So I would do the market again, Birmingham market. It'd be nice to do that. Just take a few more items down there and have a crack and have another great day being the seller for a change. And as I say, absolutely fantastic day. But anyway, got in at 8 o'clock. Craig had more or less set up, and first person I bumped into was somebody I haven't seen in a long time, and that's Rich King Retro, who hasn't been on the tubes for the longest of times. And he's been saying he's just had a lot on. He's been very busy at work, and his timetables have changed, so he just don't get to many events anymore as like he used to. But living where he lives miles away, Cornwall, I think, somewhere. So the guy's got a serious journey on his hands every time he has to go to an event, or even go to an event to sell, which 90% of the time now he does. So it was really great to see Rich again. As I say, hopefully he comes back to the tube and does a couple of videos, or just, you know, does an update for us, because it'd be good to see Rich again. But really great to see Richard. And as I say, he was setting up. You had Lee from Sore Thumbs. He was setting up with his missus and that. Just a few of the faces I recognised, of course. Eventually went over to Craig, said my hellos and all that, and he was there. He'd nearly set up, and he had some decent stuff on that stall, as per usual. Craig, well, you know Craig. If you know Craig, you know exactly what that guy's going to sell. So he gave me a banana box. He said, "There you go, my friend. Set your little few items up there," and I set it up quite good, and I was optimistic about it, to be honest with you. I honestly didn't think I'd sell anything, to be honest. But it was just a crack. It was just to go down and experience the selling point and the selling part of the day, and being behind the counter instead of being in front of it. And I was quite nervous, weirdly. I don't ask me why. It's just, as I say, I was just kind of a bit of excitement for me. It's just different. As I say, instead of being in front of the store, being behind it is, you know, it's a different ball game. But anyway, got there at 8 o'clock. Didn't open till 11. So you know, we had our walk around. We had our hellos, and you know, and literally across from me and Craig was, of course, Dainster and his mate Liam, stalling up. A couple of local lads yet again, from Dudley, of course, and as per usual, they're everywhere, and they do really well. Them pair do, and as I say, they was set up, so they was ready to roll. And then I had a walk around, because obviously the stall was set up, and I bumped into, of course, Mr. Tooty UK and his mate Rob. They was setting up, and right next to him, which I didn't realise he was coming, was Pete, old school variety face. I didn't know Pete was going to be there selling, and it was great to see Pete again. I had a good conversation through the day with Pete, and obviously Tooty and Rob. But as I say, like, you managed to get your hellos in, and your, you know, how you doing and all that, before the doors opened at 11 o'clock, because being a seller, it's a totally different ball game. You just realise how much effort goes into actually the day, because you've got no time. You've got no time to swan off and walk around and have a look and see what wares there are and things like that. You can go to the toilet, come back, and then, you know what I mean, that's about it. Grab some food or whatever, because you're always on the go. And it's and I can understand you need at least 2 people there on the stall, because there's so many people looking round, and you never know what's going to happen. And not that it will, but you know, things would disappear, could disappear if they wanted to. Not saying that ever will, but you just don't know, do you? But regardless of that, anyway, go back. Let's go back. It's nearly 11 o'clock, and I'd spoke to everybody, and so I had Tooty, Rob, Liam, Dainster, Richard, and of course I was with Craig. And then everybody's ready to rock, and Stu said, "Look, the queue's round the corner, so you know it's looking pretty good." And to be honest, the venue weren't that bad. It was quite intimate, very small. I have to admit that. Hence why they may be moving further down to the Custard Factory next year, because as I say, you walk in there and you had one complete section which was like a canteen. It literally was a canteen section, because you were selling Costa coffee. You had a corner there that sold Costa coffee and drinks and things like that. So they literally integrated most of the stalls round into that. And right at the very bottom, which I hasten to forget to mention, was obviously Alan McCluskey, Japanese Alan, Scottish Alan, whatever you want to call him, the man with another fantastic stall. He was right at the very bottom, which was, if I hadn't known about it, I wouldn't have known he was here, to be totally truthful. And so I popped into St Allen and that before you know, the stalls opened and that. But as I say, yeah, the majority of it was in the canteen. Stu and Rob was there, and Pete was in the canteen section. And then you walk in through, and you had this big main hall where you had all stalls in the central area, and then you had stalls around. So you had a kind of a gangway, typically all the way around the main hall. It wasn't wide enough because, as I say, a lot of people said when the people did start coming in, and there was a fair few, I have to admit, after 11 o'clock, the rush just hit you, and like you're on the ball straight away. And there's a lot of people in there, and I think for the gangways that they had, and you had people rolling in with prams and things like that, and no disrespect, you know, you've got kids, you've got to bring them to the event if you want to come, as simple as that. But I don't think they catered for that sort of, you know, for the room, for people with pushchairs and things like that. It's not, you know, it's just, it was out of their hands. That was the venue that they got, and they did the best with what they had. I ain't going to deny that, because it was set up as best it could be. But as I say, I think, you know, like confining the space and trying to give enough room for people to walk around, it was there, but it wasn't, if you know what I mean. So when the rush hit at about 11, it was quite manic for the first 3 hours. And as I say, like, you know, people come in, and like, you know, it's just crazy to see it from the other side and see people, and you're thinking to yourself, like, walking around trying to get a bargain and all that, and I'm just standing there and I'm just laughing to myself and thinking, man, I'm actually like this when I come to these events. I'm looking for the deal, looking for the bargain and all that. And then obviously people come to the stall and was buying Craig's wares, and one of my items went within 5 minutes, which I was absolutely flabbergasted, because I sold, I'll tell you this much, I sold my Virtual Boy, because, to be honest, it's a fantastic system, and I literally bought it last year, probably about a year and a half ago, to be honest with you, and I literally haven't played it. I played it once, and nowadays, the way I see things, the way I see things, if you're not going to have something in your collection that you're not exactly going to use, I don't see the point in having it at all. And as I thought to myself, you know, it's not going to be something that I ain't going to be able to pick up again in the future, because I've already done that with a console. I'll tell you now, one of the consoles I was going to pick up this year was a PCFX, PC Engine. I wanted one of them, and I picked one up at the beginning of the year. I had one boxed, immaculate condition. I mean, in about, what, 3-4 months, but actually, when I'm about 2 months of having it, I actually resold it, made more money on it, and I got rid of it specifically because it weren't being used. And it isn't the fact that I didn't want one, it's just I don't think it was the right time at that time to actually own it. I thought, well, get rid of it. You can get one again in the future, because there ain't that many games for that system. There's probably about 5 games for that system to collect for anyway. So when I'm ready to pick one of them up, and then I can just go for that collection on the side, I'll do that. So I'll just got rid of that. But as I say, Virtual Boy went as well. I had about 6 games. And obviously, I also took down my Famicom, original Famicom, box Famicom, with a selection of my games, which I'd sold on. They went to somebody. Somebody's going to do a video, no doubt. But hopefully they're all good, bruv. You know what I mean? Everything's all working well. But yeah, literally within 5 minutes, my Virtual Boy went. Majority of the games went apart from one. And my Famicom, just stepping back a tad, my Famicom actually went before I even opened up. So, you know what I mean, that gone. And then most of my Famicom games had gone at the end of the day. So I did, for me, spectacularly well for a first attempt. As I say, that probably won't happen every single time, I guarantee you that. That was just a one-off. But to have that happen was a fantastic day. And Craig had a great day as well. Nothing compared to the likes of he would have probably made at Doncaster, because obviously Doncaster's a much bigger event. He had a lot more tables there. And this was just testing the waters with this, really. because he weren't initially going to do this anyway, but you know, he was coaxed into coming down. But you know, he had a great day. I had a great day. I sold a majority. I literally come home with about 2 items, I think. Liam and Dane he said, you know, he said he weren't a bad day, but he ended up spending more money than he actually made, probably. Enough says. And Stu and Rob, and of course Pete, they said they had a moderate day, I'm assuming, because as I say, once 11 o'clock hit, it was like 11 o'clock, the next thing you knew it was 3:30, and it's like it was a big massive rush for probably about 2.5 hours, and then it started raining outside, and then it died down next to nothing, and then literally you could literally walk around, and you know, there's just handfuls of people here, there and everywhere sort of thing. So the big rush had hit, and I think by about 3:45 we'd even started thoughting about packing away anyway, because the venue was open till about 5, so it was coming up to 4 anyway, and Craig decided, well, we've had enough, we've done our fill, and he decided to start packing away, which is fair enough, because by the time we'd packed away and loaded everything up, it was hitting around 4:30 anyway, and so, you know, all in all, great day. But stepping back again, because I'm just, you know, I'm getting that far forward, and then I've got to go backtracking. Now, obviously, I'd sold my Virtual Boy, which was very, very quick, very good. I made some decent money on that. And I had to pop outside because I had trouble with reception, because I'd sold it through PayPal. And in the queue, there was 2 guys that recognised me, my channel. Now, apologies for the one guy, I didn't catch his name, but the other guy said he had a channel, and his name was Sega Dan. So if you know Sega Dan's channel, go and check him out. I certainly will. He said he recognised me, he said he's watched my channel for a while, so thank you guys, both of you, for recognising me, and you know, watching this channel, and hopefully watching this video. So you got to mention Sega Dan. Hopefully, you know, there's probably people out there that already. I'm probably sub to him, to be honest with you. But is that many? You know, that many people I sub to? I just can't keep track nowadays. But anyway, yeah, nice to meet you guys. Really, you know, pleasant 2 lads coming up to me and saying hello and all that. That's what it's all about. You know, you see somebody, go up and say hello, have a chit chat. You know, this event isn't just for gaming, it's for social, if you get the opportunity to do it. And as I say, it's a great meeting up place, especially obviously if you're going there just to buy, then it's easily done. But you know, it's one of them. It's one of them. But as I say, great to see those guys. And then I was on the stall, and then this guy was looking on the stall, and I said to Craig, I said, that's got to be Retro Bear, another local boy, and he's from Halesowen, which is literally a stone throw from me. And he looked up and he said, yes, that I am that person. So yes, I actually bumped into Retro Bear, another great channel. And as I say, he's a local lad. He lives in Halesowen, so it's nice to have a little community. I know as a few YouTubers in my vicinity now. I'm not all alone. I'm not on my own. It's surprising how many probably there are around you that you don't realise that there are. You know what I mean? It's strange. But anyway, nice to meet Retro Bear. A little conversation. He said he was going to come back to the store, but I just know how these days pan out. You know, you say one thing and then another thing. You just you know, things just don't happen according to plan, and it's understandable. It's understandable, mate. So hopefully we'll catch you again next time in another event. Hopefully get to Revival, one of the mini revivals, later on, or beginning of next year. That'd be good, because I know there's going to be a couple of minis now. There isn't going to be a main one, which is still a good thing. It's still great to know that Revival's going to be around, and I don't think I could have a year without Revival, to be honest with you. But anyway, great to see Retro Bear. Let me have a look, see if I've missed anybody else. No, that's about it. But yes, all in all, guys, a great day. A fantastic experience being a seller for a change. And I've got to say a massive thanks to Craig, of course, for letting me stall up with him and help him out, and then put a few items onto his stall to sell, which is, personally for me, I did fantastically well. Really did. As I say, I wouldn't expect that again. That's probably just a one-off, if you want the truth. But really thoroughly enjoyed the day. And that's about it for me. Pickup wise, I'll tell you what I picked up. I literally had 5 minutes, and I picked up a new hat, of course, which is this one, a PlayStation cap. And up there somewhere, I've got one of them PlayStation bags. I've had one for years, but I damaged the original one I had, and these were given for dirt cheap. £4 for that, £4 for the bag, so £8 for the two. So I was well chuffed with that. So I picked those up, and that was my spend for the day, £8, literally, because I just didn't have time to go around and actually have a look at anything there. So literally, I went home with obviously a big profit and hardly anything, you know, to talk about. But I did grab a couple of items. One especially is the mother of all items, and this is a holy grail item, and it was on my list for this year, and I've got it now, and I've waited a long time to get this item. But firstly, let's talk about some C64. Now this item, Craig gave me right at the end of the day, just for a quick thank you for helping him on the store. And mate, it doesn't, you shouldn't have. I would just enjoyed the day thoroughly. Anyway, it doesn't matter if you do, you know. This is just irrelevant. I absolutely loved it. Thank you for the experience. It's just a great day. But anyway, I seen this, and Mr. Tootie was there for 5 minutes, and he said this game is the reason Star Fox was called Star Wing on the Super Nintendo, because this game is, of course, is called Star Fox, and this is a C64 game I've never heard of. And it says obviously due to copyright, they couldn't name the Super Nintendo Star Fox, so they had to name it Star Wing in the UK. So that was pretty intriguing, and it's a game I've never ever seen before. So Craig happily donated that to my C64 collection, which I'm really happy about. Thank you very much for that, mate. That will be play tested when I break up in a couple of weeks, because I'll have another couple of weeks off, so I'll be able to get a few videos out, guys. But yeah, absolutely looking forward to that. I've still got a ton of C64 from Stu to test, so it's going to be an interesting couple of days to go through them, and I might give you an update and see, and just like let you know how many actually worked and that, because I've got now 3 cassettes. I've actually got the cassette that Tootie gave me at the beginning of January, went to the arcade club, or sorry, beginning of Feb, and Dane's to give it me when I went to Revival. So I've got 3 now, so if I can't get any of these games to load, there's something wrong. But absolutely fantastic, Craig. Lovely jubbly, mate. You're a star. Absolutely love that game. I'm going to enjoy that. So, well, happy to have that. Now, the pièce de résistance, as they say. Now, this thing, well, I've just spent £30 on a protective case for it. Immediately, as soon as I picked this up, as soon as I had it, I thought, this has got to go in a protective case. This is going to be used. It's going to be set up in a collection. I'm not one for keeping it. Don't get me wrong, this is quite a rare item, and these ain't cheap. But Craig did me an absolutely stellar deal. He's helped me out big time with this item, and it took me a long time to get this in my collection. But it's never ever leaving it, believe me. It's something I've wanted for years. I've wanted one for years, and all I've done is just gone up and up and up in price, and it's been, you know, it's got to a point where it's getting out of my price range. But thankfully, we've got good friends in this community, and especially with Craig, he's helped me out stellar with this, believe me, and he's done me an absolutely amazing price on it. I'll just show you the console. It is a console, yes, it is a console, and it's definitely one of ticking off my list for this year. And as I say, you know, I've got it, it's going nowhere, and I will be doing a video specifically on this console in the near future, of course. But at long last, guys, I have the Code Veronica Dreamcast, and I'm absolutely over the moon. I cannot believe at last I actually own this Code Veronica Dreamcast. And as I say, these ain't cheap. These are very scarce. I think there's about 1,400 of these made. So to get one of these, I'm a happy man. I'm so over the moon to actually have this in the collection at last. It's it's beyond words. I can't describe how I feel about having this. It's such an item and a console I wanted for such a long time. To add it to the collection at last, and it's going to be appreciated, it's going to be used, looked after thoroughly. As I say, I bought a £30 protection case for this. I'm going to put it down for a dropping. £30 I paid for a very, very tough protective case for that. So that's going up there, up above on my consoles, in my console collection, and it's going to be loved and appreciated. So Craig, yet again, mate, you've been mentioned mega amounts of times in this video, but believe me, you've done me a stellar deal. You've done me a solid there, mate. It's a console I've been after for such a long time, and to own it at last, it's a good feeling. Believe me, it's a really, really good feeling. I will be doing a video on that in the near future. Probably I'm going to be doing myself a nice Resident Evil video. Look, what I've got, what I've picked up over the years or whatever. I'm still adding to that collection. I've still got a couple of items I really need for that collection, which may come during the year, maybe into next year. We shall see. But anyway, guys, 26 minutes. The Birmingham gaming market is now done and dusted. I had a thoroughly fantastic day. Great to see anybody that I bumped into, anybody that I mentioned in this video. Also fantastic to see you. Whether it, obviously short and sweet because of the you know, when you're working behind the stall, you just haven't got time to breathe or to literally go and do the normal things you would do if you was walking around being a buyer. And to be honest, it was kind of a good thing for a change for me to walk out of there and not spend that much money, but come home with some stellar items regardless. And but yeah, thoroughly fantastic day. Great to see everybody there. As I say, it will be a new venue next year, just a couple of 100 yards. The Custard Factory, I think it will be. So looking forward to next year, and absolutely fantastic to see you all, guys. But right, I'm going to leave it here. And as I say, it's good to get another video up, guys. As per usual, I am Cybersnake7. Keep playing, guys, and remember, always keep watching. All the best.